welcome to a very special episode of Glitch Please. This is a supplemental episode.
I thought we already did this.
We did do this. This is Groundhog Day. This is your life now.
Oh, okay.
You will wake up and you will do Glitch Please
every day. Okay.
Every day.
I downloaded Octopath Traveler.
That's so exciting. Have you played it?
Not yet, but Gilby said I might. Gilby just told me I might hate it.
What? Why?
I said, I don't know if I see you liking that game.
I was like, you could have told me this when we filmed yesterday.
Well, yeah, like I said, you had your own advice to play the demo, and I figured maybe you would have just played the demo. And also, like, I've told you about the game. We all talked about it. Like, if you still think you might like the game after hearing all of that, then I assume maybe you'll like it. But
that's not what you said earlier.
But like,
if Gus hates it, that's on Gus now.
No, that's on Gilby. All right, we're not doing that. We're doing something different.
We're doing something different today. Although we are very curious to hear your thoughts in the next episode of Glitch Please.
We'll get there.
Today we're doing a supplemental episode in which we are building a PC. We have talked about doing this on this show for months, like practically since the show started. And the fine folks at Corsair actually reached out to Alfredo, the fans of the show. They said, we'd love to send some PC parts if you guys want to do a PC build. And they talked to the folks at MSI as well, and MSI sent a bunch of stuff. And then I bought the processor, PSU, and they sent us everything else we need to build a monster of a PC.
PSU.
So are we building you a
supply
PC?
unit.
No, I already have a PC.
Okay.
You should have said the correct answer is yes. The correct answer is yes.
Yes.
We are
If someone
generally
asks-
building a PC.
If someone asks, are we building you a PC, you say yes.
Yes.
Yes. But this way, if there's a lot of people who have been on console because it's convenient or bought pre-done PCs, that's all fine. But one of the fun things about being a PC gamer as well is doing your own PC build. Yep. It's like a rite of passage, but it's can also be kind of intimidating if you've never done it before, because people will start throwing around things like the PSU and the RAM, and is it SD RAM, or what does that mean? What's the difference? And it gets kind of intimidating, but it's actually really easy to build a PC, and we're going to show you how.
And no shame in buying your own PC.
No, if you want to, if you want to, do it.
I do.
I understand, like, the need to not do something yourself, but like, if you are interested.
This is how.
It is easy.
Yeah.
Definitely makes you appreciate your PC a lot more.
Yeah, and it makes
I don't know about that. Don't shame me.
No.
No, but you think
you
more
get a
about
certain amount of love.
It helps you understand how things go together, and then like in the future when like, oh, I kind of want more RAM, it's like that's a really easy upgrade. It's not like you need to.
I think that's how I got started. Was like when I was a teenager, my family computer needed more RAM, and that's like the first thing I did. Was like I opened it up and it's like,
oh, this was easy.
That's where it goes, right? And then that's like it's like you stair step.
Yeah, exactly.
My first time modifying a PC was, we had I'm pretty sure it was a Compaq, something or other, just one of those, it was pre-bought PC, and it was like a 486, and I overclocked it so that it would run EverQuest.
Nice.
I overclocked it to 333 megahertz.
Yeah.
And it did not get anywhere
fry?
actually near that. It was not functionally
Did it actually
that close.
post? Like, did it turn on?
Oh yeah, no, it worked afterwards, and it was a lot faster. Not 333, which at the time was like, okay, but it worked and it was great. And then I started doing my own PC builds after that.
I think the first thing I did was we had a Packard Bell computer. I upgraded it from 4 megabytes of RAM to 8 megabytes of RAM, and then I added a math coprocessor.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dang. I had an E-machine in which I was playing Counter-Strike on Xbox at the time because I was console gaming, and then I took my grandma's credit card and I bought Counter-Strike on that machine, and it didn't run. And so I was like, damn it. And then eventually I saved up to buy. And she found out.
I thought that story was going to go a little bit differently.
I think the first
She was okay with it.
upgrade I had to make to a computer was I bought the Spider-Man the movie game, and it came on DVD-ROM and not CD-ROM, and I was like, fuck. And so my mom took me to the store, and she's like, we're buying this. And my mom and I somehow together installed a new CD,
That's cool.
a DVD. My mom, like, I don't know if
That's great.
I don't know
I love that.
how to explain this. My mom is not a technical person, but somehow we figured it out together. It was great.
I love it.
It's a bonding experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you haven't had your first time, you can, and you'll know what goes
Show
where.
you how.
We're gonna demonstrate.
All right. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna pull
Okay,
this
so
over?
here's we've got a whole we need a lot of space.
We need a
to build
Vanna
PC.
White
So
here.
we made a we have a side table that's got all our stuff on it that we'll pull up and we'll install things as needed. We have a bunch of different components. We've got the motherboard and the RAM and 8 billion fans, and because
Too
this
many
is
fans.
really cool Corsair stuff, pretty much all of it lights up. So this is going to be like a rainbow PC when we're done with it.
RGB
So
everything.
the first step one,
Make a
we need
clear
case.
workspace.
Clear the workspace.
Free of liquids typically, but we're being bad.
So actually, before we put the case up here, the thing I normally start with is I get the motherboard, the CPU, and the RAM, and I put the CPU in the motherboard and the RAM in the motherboard, so that's all prepped.
And so then you can
MSI,
drop it in.
Yeah, exactly.
Z370.
Oh, think of all the boxes
Got the
we
RAM.
get to open today.
Got
This
the
is
RAM.
very exciting.
What RAM is that, Gus? The Corsair Vengeance
Corsair
RGB.
Vengeance, Yep, it's
What kind of? It's an i7.
8 gig stick.
i7 8700K for the CPU.
It's a good. That's a good, good processor.
That's a good one.
I think it'll last forever. Here, what I normally do is just like.
Oh, you break things down? as
No,
well?
no, I don't break it down. I just need. I like to have a spot for that, and then I put the anti-static bag on it. Not that you have to.
Well, we should. Speaking of
Also, we
anti-static
have,
bags.
yes,
Okay,
there's a best practice in building
So
PCs.
the reason we have these is because everyone will get mad if you touch PC components without using
Comment section are a little
anti-static
nuts.
wrist straps. I will say that I've built maybe 200 computers while I've worked here.
Brag about it.
Never used anti-static wrist straps and never shorted out the motherboard, and it will never happen.
Go knock on something wooden.
Generally, you can ground a computer or while you're working by just holding onto the side of the case, so it's not a huge deal. You do want to be careful not to like
And
touch.
normally, what you would do with these is put them on your wrist and clip it to the computer.
Exactly.
Yeah, but if you want to be careful, and if you were less lazy than we are, it's a pretty good call. I just got these from Fry's.
If you're building your computer in a giant carpet,
Yep.
then yeah. Go ahead
Yeah,
and
we got cushy cement here.
I'm
Okay.
gonna use my spudger here to unlock this. This unlock. That's what I just said.
I just learned about this tool today.
Yeah, it's for opening.
It's for spudging.
It's for spudging.
That's
Spudging
amazing.
things.
Yeah, you never built a computer without a spudger. So if you guys don't have a spudger, you can get one at your local hardware store.
He's totally
I've
lying.
been doing
He's
it wrong
totally
this
lying.
whole time.
I've never used one either, but that was very convenient. It is actually, it's just spudger.
It actually says it.
It does.
No, I'm not making that word up.
Well, no, but sometimes you make words for things. That sounds like
you want
a
to show
made-up
what the CPU looks like to
Okay.
the camera?
All right,
So-
so I'm not gonna take it out of the. This is a CPU. It's very small.
word. This is the powerhouse.
All right, so
One of them.
This is like the mitochondria.
Ashley, you want to do the honors? So I'm gonna pull. This is the
Oh,
little
sweet, sweet.
Okay.
CPU.
cover off.
And this
So
one,
CPUs are all lick and stick. So you just
God damn.
don't do that.
So you want to pop open this lever, which is the cover for the CPU housing, and you just want to line up the. There's a little indicator on it. Can we show them the indicator?
Yeah, there'll be
And
these little
definitely,
like, notches right here.
when
Yeah,
you're
so-
building a computer, definitely don't touch the bottom of a CPU or the contacts pins where the CPU goes. That's bad news.
Sides only. But there's little notches on this side.
You want to make sure to line that up.
Yep.
Yep. Line up the little notches. So
Little
I think it's
notches are on
reverses.
this end.
Yep.
So I will, without touching anything,
Twist job.
twist it.
Bop
and-
it.
This is actually the part of building a computer that scared me the most because it's such an expensive little. Oh no, no, it's not.
No, it's not seated.
It's okay. Just give it a little. There you go. Little nudge. It's in now. So this is the part that scared me about computers most because it's so small and so expensive. So when you want to put down the lever here, hold on one sec. So you want to.
I'm scared of
dude,
it.
Totally. So this part is a little scary because you kind of have to put some pressure. So you slide this back, and this will align with the screw, and then you just push the lever down, and it makes a little creaking sound. That's fine, and it latches against itself. That's it. Now it's in.
And
That
that's
was
also a
always the
big
scary
change
part.
from older PC building. I remember it
used
was
to have
all
pins.
pin based, and
Yeah.
that was kind of scary.
Everyone's like, don't break the pins or it's all gone.
Like you
But you
bend
also
one,
had
yeah.
to put some pressure on it, and you're constantly worried.
There will be pressure.
sorry.
It's a little scary. Remember the first time I was like, this can't be right, this can't be right, and it just feels like it's just a lot of it.
Okay.
So next up, we'll just pop in some RAM.
Let me spudge.
So for this motherboard, I just looked at the manual. Most motherboards are this way. They have a special config. If you're only using, say, 2 sticks of RAM or 1 stick of RAM, it'll have a recommended setting. And in order to have dual channel configuration on this motherboard,
What does that mean?
it basically gives you theoretically double your bandwidth or double your memory bandwidth.
Faster memory.
Faster memory, maybe.
Optimal
so
seating for
you
your
want to
RAM.
put it in A2 and B2, which are the ones I've unlocked.
A2B2 is my favorite droid in Star Wars.
If you look up the DIM section of
I heard
your
someone laugh a little.
nice. If you look up the DIM section of your motherboard manual, it'll tell you like what these are called and where to put the memory if you have like say 2. And so we're gonna.
And how do you tell that's A2 and B2?
You look at the manual.
Okay.
Actually, it actually says right there. See, it says first.
DIM.
See, it says DIM
DIM
A2.
A1, A2, B1.
So you
B2.
utilize those first.
So yeah.
So,
You
and
make
you
sure
want to
to
just the
align
only thing you
those
want to do is
notches.
align these notches with the notches there. I think you're gonna flip it around.
Nice.
And when you align that, you just kind of push it in.
I
Satisfying.
once saw
Flip.
Jeff put a DIM in backwards.
Oh God.
What?
Oh.
Yeah, he managed to do it.
All right, careful, careful.
Yeah, I get so worried. There
There
we
you
go.
go.
Click.
Clicked on both sides. Yep.
When you turned the PC on, it made the most beautiful blue spark I've ever seen. In my life. Don't be like Jeff.
Or I mean,
Or do, yeah.
You know, if you can make a bunch of money and then replace the computer, that's fine.
Surprisingly, the motherboard didn't die. That DIM slot died, but the rest of the motherboard was fine.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
so
impressive.
We're secure
Okay.
now. So,
So
this
we are-
is a start. This
Yeah.
is how I like to start. You can start however you want. You can put the motherboard in and do this afterwards, but this is how I do it.
And these are some of the most important components.
Yeah.
I mean, everything, you kind of have to have everything so it all works together. but
Totally.
Or is there
like motherboard, processor, RAM.
I like to have, the reason I do it this way is because it's easier to access like the CPU slot and the RAM when it's not in a giant case.
makes sense?
Although we do
going-
have
Speaking
a
of giant
case.
cases,
So we
We're
can
going CPU
Oh, do we-
put
cooler
this to the
now?
side.
No,
And
it's a liquid
here's-
cooler, so it needs to be done afterwards.
Got it.
But liquid cooling has changed a lot.
Yeah, this is a closed loop, like single unit liquid cooler. Oh, you got it?
I got it.
your spudger's bent.
All right.
Now,
so
are we
let's
gonna
move that out of the way?
Are we using
Yeah, I'll take
pre-applied thermal paste?
So the cooler that they sent us has thermal paste on the
That's
But
definitely not going to
just in-
fall.
But just in case,
Can you hold that bottom?
Pre-applied it
Yeah.
is.
I did get some thermal paste just in case we ever need it.
So you theoretically could. I mean, we probably should work in here. I left this on so you can pull this off.
Don't you wait till the very end to do that?
Yeah.
If you want, I guess. Yeah, because we're gonna be touching.
Okay, we'll
it.
wait. We'll wait.
like
We'll
crazy.
wait.
So this case actually lets you work vertically, but because that's really hard to do on camera.
Well, we've got that, so we'll be able to see
Right.
in a little bit.
Oh, I don't know if this hinge likes to be. Does it go all the way down?
Let go. I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, look at that.
All right, cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we need to actually, we actually do need to stand up because the standoffs are on the other side of this. So let's close it up.
Up it goes. And there are a lot of different cases and types of cases.
Yeah, this is I think a mid-tower case, right? This is definitely not
Yeah,
a
this
full
is a
case.
And this one, I like this one because it's got swinging doors on both sides.
Yeah, this actually is really nice for cable management and for it's like a
Yeah.
it's good
You
placement
want-
for
you
your
want
hard
scissors?
drive.
Yeah, let's.
Definitely more of a top tier case because it's got the tempered glass on the side, on both sides actually,
Yep.
which is
So
really
it's
nice.
got-
And the doors
Wings,
don't have
essentially.
don't have thumb screws. There, you just access them. It's really nice.
So do you want to show them what you were pointing at?
Your case will come
So-
with a
Yeah,
box
so
full of little
these are-
tools.
Well, you
These
don't
are-
want to block the okay.
Sorry, these are your 3.5-inch drive bays, and these are for SSDs, like 2.5-inch SSDs. That's really nice. And also that whole side that you can hide cables in.
And then I'm just pulled out a box of tools that's usually going to be slotted with your 3.5 drive
Yep.
base.
It's like all the screws and various.
Yeah, so
little
this
bits of hardware you need.
is,
All these beautiful things. Zip ties.
we got some zip ties for later.
screws,
Screws of various sizes.
So we need our,
Cable
Little-
management.
Little
That's-
rubber
oh, I'm
cups.
sorry, the motherboard standoffs, or the standoffs are in the
They're
motherboard box.
they're already.
Are they on there?
Are they be on there.
Sometimes they have like a couple standard ones on there, but because there are different configurations of motherboards, they're not always all on there.
Are they not on there?
Oh, they are. No, they're totally on there. Okay, great.
And what are you looking for? What are you
That's
talking
convenient.
So let's spin this around.
So the motherboard has to be seated onto these standoffs, and sometimes cases will give them to you, apart like separately, and you have to apply them yourself. But these already have them set. So
about? And that's just like what the motherboard rests
Yeah,
on.
and then, yeah, and that,
motherboard
it's
rests on
supposed
that.
to be off. It's actually supposed to be off the wall.
yeah, and if yours doesn't come with them pre-done, don't worry. Like your board will show you what. Like you can look on the board, see where the holes are, line that up, and then pop the standoffs in yourself. And it's really they're just hand screws.
Yeah, they're just easy little like spacers.
It's either like here, here. There's around here. What does this one have? Like 4 of them.
No, it's like
5,
6.
6.
Eight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
7. It's like 8. There's 8.
There.
Look at you. You've done this a few times.
I've built a computer.
All right, here. You want to put this in?
Yeah, I don't want to do it like this. I'm gonna lay it down. This is a really nice case, but you got to be careful because it's tempered glass.
That's why you leave the sticker on.
Yeah, I think leaving the sticker on is the right call.
Let's not knock over the coffee.
If we get rid of that coffee, then what will Ashley not drink?
Okay, so you want to pop this in?
How dare you?
So you want to?
So normally the ports in the back.
You know what? Hold on. We need to get our I/O panel before we put that
go
in.
towards the back where the I/O panel is. And the I/O panel is just what shields all of these ports. From
Yeah.
You don't have to
Makes-
have an I/O
No,
panel.
it just makes it look nice.
It also maybe protects from
Tiny.
dust a little bit. And is it vertically like that? Yes. Okay. So
That just pops in. There's an empty space on the back of the case where all of your ports would go through, and that just pops right in
wait, I'm doing it backwards.
effortlessly.
Sorry, I have giant hands. I don't actually. Since I became a sysadmin, I don't have to build computers anymore.
Brag about it.
So do you miss this?
I miss building my own computers. I'll do that eventually too.
All right.
You want to do it?
Yeah, you do it.
Okay, fine.
You're taking point here. You're the one who said you've never shorted out a piece of hardware.
Fair enough. So you just want to.
Just rest it right on the standoffs.
Oh, dude, hold on. This case fan's too big.
Oh,
We'll
is
have
it?
to remove this
All right.
case fan first. All right. Well, that's.
Have to remove the
So the
case.
case
All right.
fan's interfering
Let's break
with
out the tools.
top of the I/O port there.
So do we have? Do you want to
Yeah, I'll
rest that
take
somewhere?
that. I'll put it back on the bag. This is the motherboard is behind you,
We got our
Ashley.
toolkit.
Yeah, this happens. We'll just close that up because the screws on the outside.
And they're just regular old screws, Phillips.
Yeah, we actually need to replace these fans anyway with the
the other
LED
one?
ones, so that's fine.
If we
this
didn't,
happens
this
to
wouldn't
you,
be a Rainbow Majesty.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
we
you
got
want-
all 4 of those.
This one looks like it has a power supply or like a power cable that goes out the back. There we go.
Yay. All right, so fans out, and that means we'll be able to
that
get the motherboard in properly.
Your case will have a ton of spots where you can mount fans, so don't worry if you have to move them around.
And we got a lot of fans.
These are
Okay.
awesome.
Ta-da!
Just
Now we won't lose
super
them.
useful. You'll never lose them. You can like stick it to the side of your table, or you really shouldn't stick it to the case, but if there's anything in it.
All right, so now you want to get that motherboard in there? Or
Yeah.
MOBO, as we call it.
Yeah,
in the
Mobo.
industry.
Yeah, it's the way.
that Mobo.
Never call it by its full name, unless it's doing something wrong.
You're saving a whole syllable by saying MOBO instead of motherboard.
Sorry, this is not a good angle for me.
Every syllable counts.
I'm so big. It's very hard to do.
That's a clean MOBO. It's like
It looks nice. So you want to fit it on your standoffs, and
And you'll know you've done it right if it lines up on the
yeah.
IO
If it
shield
doesn't
out here.
line up, like stop what you're doing.
Go
All right.
back a step.
And it actually will sort of lock into place, partially because the I/O shield, but because one of these standoffs has a little extra something sticking out. Actually, you know,
be the middle standoff, I believe.
I'm a little. Okay, I'm an idiot. No, we're
I
fine.
can't believe this MOBO still has a PS2 port on it.
Okay.
I thought those were gone.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. I think most of them do still.
Just legacy.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you do now?
Funny story, when I first started learning about computers and someone brought up PS2 ports, I thought they were talking about PlayStation 2. Very embarrassing.
That's where you plug in the controller.
Everyone's like, oh, what a joke.
So we need to get the motherboard screws screwed in. Which ones are they?
You have them out there?
I think so. I think, man, these are look really small. I don't see the standard ones. Let's see if these are it. Here, can I have that small screwdriver?
What would you like?
Tiny.
Tiny Phillips.
Yeah, I like that one.
This one.
What I always say is like, and I know the whole process,
Doctor.
if you've never done it before, seems intimidating. But what I always say when it comes to building a PC is like, you basically just plug stuff in where it fits.
Yep. All
All right,
are we
I
just
think we got 'em
tails?
all.
Yeah, we got them all.
All right, now that we've secured the motherboard, let me make sure we don't have to unsecure it to access the back panel. All right, we're good. So let me just spin this around so you can see what I'm talking about. So a lot of liquid coolers, and I'm not sure about this one, but a lot of coolers in general will have a bracket that needs to attach to these back 4 ports. I can't do backwards stuff. Basically, you need access to this. And if your case doesn't have this big open port in the back, you'll have to do this before you mount the motherboard on. So you have to put on whatever the bracket is before that. And I'll just see if it has one so I can show you.
Should I
what
get the
I'm talking
cooler?
about.
Is this it? Yeah.
This is actually probably the next step anyway.
Yeah. The best thing about this parts table is it's extremely secure and will not fall.
So liquid cooler is one giant piece. So what you have is, if I can pull it out without opening it
Need
too
one of
much.
This is great. I love this.
I know.
And be a little
Playing with it
careful.
all. Oh my.
These vents they're like heat conductive, but they're also like that old air conditioning material where if you touch it, it'll bend really easily.
That's a beautiful radiator.
So yeah, this goes on basically the top of your computer. This part goes on the CPU. And you can do a couple configurations for fans. You can do pull, you can do push, or you can do push-pull. So you can have both. I think we're just going to do push.
What does
today.
that describe?
So basically, it's pulling air through, or it's pushing air through, or pulling air through. I generally, if I'm just doing one, I'll just do push. People have their preferences. I'm just going to do push.
The great thing about liquid cooling is if you get thirsty while you're building your PC, you have
Yeah, open
liquid
it up.
you can
Yeah,
fill
you have
Have
a
a drink.
reservoir you
Make
can
a
get
big
into.
drink.
Yeah.
And this actually comes with fans, but we're not going to use them.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
All right, so it comes with 3 fans, great. And here's that bracket we're talking about.
And remember, we have like 8,000 fans as well.
Yeah, we have a ton of RGB fans.
Yeah, I think we have, man, I hope we have enough.
Yeah, not 8,000, 6.
No,
No, I think
8,000. These
we
are
have-
all
I think we're actually
amazing LED
short.
fans.
one short of having all the slots filled, but we'll make it look good.
I
So
have a default one in the middle somewhere.
There's also this digital fan
Oh, that's the
The
controller.
controller for the
controller.
so
which I've never installed one of those.
these
pretty straightforward.
it comes with 2 brackets. One of these is for AM3, one of these is for LGA. So
What
basically
does that mean?
AMD or Intel.
There you go.
And they're a little bit. Some of these adjust for the different types of sockets, or depending on what CPU you're using, basically. I'm looking for the instruction manual.
We don't.
We don't need an instruction
Manual.
manual.
Pick it up. It might
right
be on-
here.
yeah.
Manual.
There it is.
Okay.
It's generally good to consult these things. So pull up LGA 1151 instructions. I think it's this bracket. I just need to know if it fits like this or like this.
Is there a difference?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I couldn't see.
I'm gonna assume it's like
LGA
this, actually.
Figure
Definitely that
1.
bracket.
Okay, so we're gonna move these all the way to the outside, it looks like. Or
Most
mostly
of the way to the outside?
Yeah, these are a little finicky because they're sliding. So you kind of just see how they fit and see where you need to make adjustments.
Do you want, like we could use maybe one of these little screwdrivers to help fiddle it around?
Do you need a
Because
spooger?
it's got a hole.
No, we're good.
Oh, not spooging yet?
So if you could hold that in place. So we're gonna need to screw, I'm assuming the next page will tell us to screw on the other side. Okay, so I believe it's the long on each side one, so.
How you doing, Alfredo?
Good. Yeah, no, it's
All right, Alfredo, you wanna do the honors here?
beautiful seeing.
So screw one of those into
You know,
each four
you know what
holes.
I'm excited for us to have this before
Got it in place, Gus?
next
Yep.
week. We could probably make No Man's Sky look pretty dope on
Oh,
this.
So what he's doing is he's putting the screws on basically where these 4 posts are. You see here
Give himself
and
a
here.
little light.
He's I'm holding this in place while he screws it in from the other side to attach it.
Yeah, Corsair, if you have any like spare of these parts laying around and you want to help a friend out, just let me know.
Just send it to Roosh Teeth, care of Gus Sorolla.
Care of Adam Ellis. Man, I'm due. I'm gonna upgrade my PC as soon as I move.
Nice.
This is basically a $2,500 PC. This is not like a starter.
It's about
PC.
$2,000 minus the
Yeah,
Instead of some accessories.
There's a lot of RGB everything.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
you can
get a standard
scale back
version, yeah.
This
like
thing-
easily if you want to save. This is just this
the nice
basically
thing,
a crazy PC.
yeah, the nice thing about this PC is it comes. You have an i7 8700, which is like one of the higher end CPUs around now, and that will, because CPUs have sort of hit a plateau, that CPU will last you like a while. So your next upgrade to this PC will probably just be like, oh, a new GPU, or maybe some RAM.
The big 3 that you normally need to worry about are CPU, RAM, and GPU.
Yeah, and the one thing I would say if you're building a PC
right, you're
is
Got it?
go bigger on your CPU. Depending, like basically CPU is more of a pain in the ass to upgrade.
Because typically you have to change your motherboard.
Typically you have to switch out your motherboard and your RAM. And if you're gonna go big on one thing that you want to last for a while, probably the CPU.
Yeah.
And get like, you know, a above average GPU, and you can always put in more RAM, you know.
And unless standards change, you can always upgrade your
Right.
your GPU pretty easily.
And people might
GPU,
disagree
hard
with that.
drive, all easy to.
Yeah.
People might disagree with that, saying like, oh, you can, you know.
I agree with that.
Everyone's got a philosophy on it.
We also
Okay.
have to deal with thermal
So-
paste
So
and all
next
that kind of
step.
stuff.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and close this up.
This here.
Yep. And we'll go ahead and lay it down.
Oh.
We'll move this hardware out of the way.
So lay it down this side up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and move this.
Twist it around
We don't
the
need
other way.
this, right?
No, that is all good.
Ah, okay. Is there any liquid in that cup over there?
A little bit. I will toss this one out.
Okay.
Oh, actually, nothing.
So
So you can see, do we have that overhead shot? I want to point something out here.
I'm actually-
you
I'm
can
actually-
see these are the stands that Alfredo screwed in. There's one here, 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 and here.
They're
And
just
that's
kind of
what-
in a square
yeah,
around
and that's
the
where this
processor.
is going to
you know what's going to be actually better if we just spin this around so we can have the camera see where this is.
So you want to do 180 on it?
Do this. I'll turn this bad boy.
And could you open the instruction manual and tell me if the hoses are supposed to come down in the front? I'm assuming they are. So
Yeah, I would definitely put that to the
I would
front.
put it towards the front too. This is how I would do
Then
it.
I would run it maybe like here,
Well-
in this little area.
Well, you don't even have to because this is going directly onto the CPU.
Oh yeah, so it's not that bad.
So I would say we're just going to move it to the front
Okay.
and live with it that way.
We're calling an audible. You can do
This
this
is your
sometimes
life,
as
dude.
well.
So let's. We need to access this top here. So how do we even get this off?
Does it not just pop off?
Yeah, there's little levers on each side. Looks like. So hold on.
Watch out, Ashley.
All right, you want to get this lever? No, that's actually not a lever. That is the
that-
magnetic mesh
down?
screen.
What's on the underside here?
It's screwed in there. Do we need to unscrew it?
This, yeah, screw here. And this might be just for this cover part. Because this would be back here.
Yeah, there's definitely screwed in.
there are
so
screws, yeah.
We need to unscrew this to take the top off to access the screws to basically mount the cooler there. So
You want me to get on that?
Looks like yeah, the bigger screwdriver.
This one's going to suck right down here.
is it?
Oh, that's gonna be a bitch.
That's the kind of situation where you might have to take the motherboard out to get that screw.
Yeah.
Unless you have one of those like, oh, look at you got the little sneaky. I was about to say you got,
Oh, my
you got the sneaky
goodness.
boy
Okay.
attachment.
This.
So
MacGyver of
we
a
want to check
toolkit.
this
So
out.
you want to show out the sneaky boy?
Never seen that one.
This
Sneaky
is
boy.
real dumb.
Sneaky
And
boy?
you almost never use this.
I want to call it sneaky boy.
But in situations like this, you could use your screw. Like if you look, the screw's still turning, or the bit is still turning as I turn the screwdriver.
Okay,
get those?
that's like
And I'll get-
that is
That's some,
sorcery.
like,
That is
I have
black
very-
magic.
some,
I have
MacGyver
very
next
big
level.
hands. I don't know if
You go for it. Oh, you want me to do it?
Yeah, because I
I
have
mean,
huge
like
hands.
just as a point of comparison, Adam, show me your hands. Like I mean, I have tiny hands, but Adam has big hands.
I can't get enough torque.
So ridiculous. It's probably the bit is too small.
Let me try it on this one up here. That's easier to reach.
wait.
What?
I think I know how to do this. Give me the screwdriver. So what I'm thinking they do is this whole bracket removes. You attach that to the cooler.
Yes.
Oh, so you slide this out.
No, you don't even need
Take
to.
out the
I'll show you.
bracket.
Oh, you put it onto the
Yes, yes.
Oh. So
All right, so we realized one thing. We were going to go ahead and take this whole top off because to mount a CPU cooler or any top fans, you generally screw them in from the top.
we almost made it really hard for
We
ourselves.
almost took off the top, and the screws are really hard to access, so we would have to pull out the motherboard. But we realized that this case has a bracket, and you take this bracket off with the thumb screws.
Convenient thumb screws. They're
Very
easy
easy
to
to
reach.
access. You take this off.
You mount to that.
And you mount it to your CPU cooler. We also
Okay.
realized
Looking at that.
Yeah.
to the radiator. We also realized that when we pull this off, this is too small for the CPU cooler that we have. So we have a backup one that's for a mid tower.
Yeah, the other one is yay long.
It's
and
big.
Just, it wouldn't
It's
fit.
large.
But if you look at this here, those screw right on. And so once we screw that on, we'll be able to just slide this on, and it'll mount on.
Plug and play.
Plug and play. Play and plug. So let's go ahead and get that screwed on.
You can't play before you plug, dude. Come on. You gotta get your order of operations right.
My dad once tried to pay me to throw a game in Madden for my little brother, and I was like, nope, it's not worth it.
He's got to learn.
I have a perfect score against my little brother. I'm not throwing it.
That's really
I
funny.
think this is the screws, and those are the little. So for a while, I was afraid I got into the wrong profession because I hate like small, frustrating things.
That's you basically
And,
described
like,
building
yeah.
a PC.
Yeah, no, totally, but I got used to it. So the one thing about push and pull for fan direction is that cleaning could be easier with, like in this setup, say we did pull, it would be pulling all of the dust through this vent, and then we pull the vent off, scrape it off, and then
Yep.
we're done. And we could do that.
Because they made it removable to
Exactly.
be easy for
Maybe
them
we should just do that.
That's, you can,
We
I mean,
literally
you convinced
just
me.
finished.
I mean,
No, this doesn't
no,
matter.
this is fine. The way we place the fans.
The fans
okay,
can,
gotcha.
yeah. Although no, we'll just do push because
See,
it's not gonna pull through the radiator well enough.
The fans will have arrows in terms of where it's pushing and where it's pulling. And then from there, you can decide for
I
yourself.
think we're
Okay.
just gonna do push. We're gonna do
Cool. So, we're good there.
So-
is this our push notification?
push. Yeah. All right. So
Gosh.
if we could, do we have an angle on this?
Throwing them out there.
So
Fucking just quantity, man. Just fucking make jokes constantly. Jokes, air quotes.
someone want to hold the cooler itself, this part. There we go. All right. So
I got you, Ashley.
sorry. To get around the wires in there. I think we're in. Yeah, we are. All right. So I just need these two thumb screws.
Perfect. That is so much easier than we were about to make it.
Look at all
Yep.
those hands.
That's a lot of hands in there.
There's a lot of love going into this PC build. That's what that means.
All right, so that is screwed in. All right, you guys are clear? Gus, I think you just let it lay.
Boom.
Cool. So, yeah, and that's it. And the nice thing about these coolers is that they're so simple to install and they're so effective and they don't have a big radiator bulge on your board. We can go ahead and put the fans in. Gus, do you want to make the executive decision? Push or pull?
Which one was the one that'll make the dust easy?
Pull, but I'm not sure.
But you said that you're not sure it can get the airflow.
I'm not sure we're going to get the proper. I think if we had mounted the fans on this side, it
Yeah, it
would
would've
be
made
easier.
sense.
But push is going to get more airflow
say-
in this setup.
Push to get the most airflow.
I'm going to
Yeah.
go with push.
Yeah, we pull from here and push.
Airflow matters.
We need a little. Where's my
Where's
spudger?
Spudger?
Spudger.
Where's the Spudger?
Oh my
Put
goodness.
it there.
Spudger.
This is the most
Here it
important
is.
tool.
The Spudger.
Sweet.
How old were you when you first spudged?
Oh man, it's like 8.
I was spudging as a wee lad.
This is the realization
You
you
adopted
could
the
play with your
Spudge.
spudger.
I was born to
was
it.
born.
Molded
These are
by it.
really cool fans. Listen.
Hey, this had a joke. cool fan.
That's funny, but no. No, I'm not normally into light up stuff, but I love the way it's just like an LED bar around it, and then the fan blades are translucent, so they'll just pick up the light. So this is something I haven't dealt with before, but there is multiple connectors, one for power and one for a controller, because this thing. We should probably go ahead and open that box up and see where the controller.
This is the controller. What does the controller do?
The controller
Spudgy.
literally does what it says. It controls the lighting of the fan, and I'm assuming also the speed and stuff like that.
Oh, there's no need for a spudger on this one. It's just sticky. I'm so disappointed.
You could have spudged it anyway, dude.
Okay, I'll spudge it anyway. I'm gonna spudge the other end. It's a backside spudge.
All right, so I don't know if the camera can see. I'm gonna use Gus's camera real quick.
Oh, no, they move.
Doot, doot, doot.
Oh, there they are. It's up there, up top.
So on these fans, there's gonna be 2 arrows. Hello.
Focusing.
There it is. So there's 2 arrows. This will tell you the direction that it's pushing out, and this will tell you the direction the fan's
So
spinning.
it's airflow and blade direction.
Right. So we're gonna go ahead and push out from the PC. So
Controller.
the other thing to worry about here is to try to figure out how to run our wires best. And I generally like to run the wires like this, so that the wires run down and behind the motherboard. Cool?
That all makes sense to me.
So now we need to find the screws for that, which are these.
I'm really grateful this table has bars to stand on.
Totally. Now you're our height.
I'm so tall. I'm almost as tall
Almost.
as you. I can't get it in.
Do you want me to help you out? All
We'll deal with that later. Just getting it off camera out of the way.
Okay, there it's going.
right, cool. I'm gonna rule, as long as that's, yeah, let me go, you're good.
Oh, that's gonna look beautiful.
It's gonna look nice, dude. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really excited about the light up RAM.
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
That's super crazy.
So how do you guys want to do the color-wise? What do you guys prefer? Do you guys prefer like an assortment, a solid
I
color?
want every LED to be a different color.
No, I want to go with that like
Chaos.
that sort of like light purpley pink, like the Outrun color.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, oof, looks good, dude.
What if we have half of them purpley pink and half of them
Set colors?
Dude,
Oh, that's just
no,
set
that's
colors.
so many colors.
That's a lot.
That's what I said.
Right, that's
It's
what
like
we
a
want.
rainbow build.
We can have it pulsing through all the colors.
All right, fine, you guys do what you want.
That's right.
Okay, the one thing I will consult the manual for is that there's a, where is that box?
What are you looking for?
The cooler box? There's a direction for this, and I just want to make sure we get it right.
Is that got micro USB? Who still uses that?
It's for controllers.
Oh, so it just like goes ba-doop ba-doop. I like it.
Oh, here, hold on. Or not.
Here.
Sorry, not micro, mini.
Mini, you're right.
USB.
You're right. It is mini. Okay, so it's gonna be like this. Cool. So
So you can see the 4 points.
that is
mount on there.
Yeah, the one thing to take into account is that like if we did do it from this side, this might not feel so awkward, but at the same time, I don't like cables running back there. It's weird. So to do this, this has pre-applied thermal paste, and I'm not going to touch it with my bare hands, but it has a cover on it. So there's some gray,
the camera?
gray stuff.
Oh, there we go. We got behind you. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's some gray right there. That's thermal paste. So when you're putting this down, you kind of don't want to do it. You kind of want to do it once and not lift up again, because you'll make contact, you'll spread your paste around, and you want to do it like kind of right the first time. So you kind of want to, like, if you need to get it aligned and see how it looks, you kind of can do it with the guard on and say, okay, it's going to be right there. And so what you'll do
You know,
is,
like which direction your cables are running,
right,
where
exactly.
everything is.
And you can consult your manual for what direction to go in. But so those gray screws that are stacked there, those are what we're going to use.
big
to
gray ones.
Yep, those are the ones we're going to use. The nuts, I should say, are the ones we're going to use to secure it.
Nuts.
And additionally, you can always buy your own.
You know,
paste.
I also said not to fuck
Yeah.
this up, but I think we have the wrong standoffs in here because they don't reach.
You think we need the long ones?
Yeah.
Here are the long on one side ones.
That's fair.
But no, that's what's in.
Yeah.
in.
No, we want the long on both sides ones. Let me, hold on. Where's that box?
Long on
Found it.
both sides are
Got it.
in. Or should be in. Because we have the long and shorts here.
So, Adam, this is what's in.
So hold on. We're
Long on, long on both
we're gonna
sides
swap
is
them out.
in.
When we swap the,
Those are the old ones.
Okay.
okay, that's one.
Some good camera work there.
Fantastic.
Nice.
You screwed it up. Okay, there you go.
Always be careful with the plastic cover that covers the thermal paste on the cooler too, because that sometimes, a lot of times, kind of slips out when you're like adjusting and readjusting things.
Totally. Yeah, you can see we have some thermal paste on there. It's not the end of the world. It's just,
It's not preferable.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot nicer when it's pre-applied like that. When you do it yourself, it's definitely more of a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
You have to like make sure there's no bubbles, or it's like making as much surface area contact
Yeah, there's
as
always like,
possible.
yeah. And it's kind of variable when you do it yourself. Like,
There's always different methods. There's the pea size, there's the grain of
yeah,
salt.
now it's rice size for this size processor. But
Yeah, back in the day, we'd have to use like a flat plastic tool to kind of like spread it and make sure you have like
So weird.
Like I would use like a driver's license was like great. for
Archaic
that,
times.
To like
okay,
get it.
now we can
thin
close
layer.
that up. We're all screwed in.
All right, we can lay
I would
that
have said
down.
we're all screwed up, but it's okay.
All right, I'm gonna come around so you guys can get a better shot of this. Okay, so
Looking good.
anyone want to do the honors or
You do it.
fan? I've already screwed it up once. That's fine.
Well, yeah, that's why. I mean, now we can just blame it on you.
Yeah.
If someone else does it, then we have to share the blame.
Here, I'll do the cross screw.
I'm trying to remember how I even did this. There we go. It's like this. Okay, cool.
We're good.
Looks like we're in, dude. So go ahead and get me some screws on there.
All right, so I'm gonna cross screw this on here.
Thank you, sir. I'll go ahead and tighten this one if you want to.
Yep. So we get a good amount of pressure.
Yep. I only like mostly tightened it to keep it like locked in place.
Yeah.
Cool. Mine's on. So now we can, if you're on, we can probably let go. You good?
Yep.
Cool. So now we just need to get the other two on, and then our cooler is mounted.
Oh, that's a weird angle. I get it there. This guy doesn't have too much room.
You got it? Here, you can.
Yeah,
You,
push that down a little bit. Thank you.
I think. Sorry. Let's do that. Got it?
Yeah, there we go.
As long as you're threaded, we can screw it on to make it
Yep.
better.
That should be big enough.
I got that one pretty darn tight.
Yeah, I literally did like the tiniest little twist, and it's already good. This guy will be in there.
That's good. I'll let you tighten them up a little bit.
It's important that there's good contact there.
Yeah, they can be like secure. You don't have to go crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you just, oop, did it just strip?
You may have.
This
It looked like
one.
it.
Something just popped up.
That's not great.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
But like, did the bottom pop up off the motherboard?
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's secure.
We should double check the other side to see what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
Popped off.
It's not going to be great.
So what does that mean we need to do?
So if you look, the standoffs for the CPU cooler are all level except this one, which now has a gap. So
I don't know if it's stripped because then I didn't put any pressure
it's
on
not
it.
stripping it. I'm not sure why that came.
Might have pulled out from the back side, like where it's attached on the bracket. Like stand this up and let's look at this other side and see what happened.
Oh, we might have to.
It still looks like it's in there. This one, oh, this one looks like it's off somehow. See, these are all nice and flat.
Yeah.
This one
Me-
looks.
Why did that pop out like that?
Let me see something. We might need
Like-
to swap that bracket out. They look the same, but they might not actually be the same. So let's.
So I think, okay, so I think what's happened here is this is actually not in the hole.
Yeah. It's like pushing
So it's
it
pushing the
instead
whole
of
thing
like
out.
threading. Yeah.
No, these are the same. Or it's okay. So go ahead and get it
You gonna have
mounted
to-
on. I need those. Yeah, I need it.
Give her a second. She's gonna have to like
Yeah, no, totally. I
fudge with them.
want to make sure that all of these parts are all the way through the board, and I think that might have been.
True.
I think they might have been stuck on the outside.
Yeah. That
Okay,
was,
so you got 3 out of 4.
yeah.
You're
The
doing really
fork was
good.
being a bitch.
It always is.
Yep. Now they're all being a bitch.
There. All right, they're all the way through.
Yeah, go ahead and hold all those in place. We should be golden.
All right, and I'm exerting some pressure.
That's great. Love that. So when this
think we tight-
when this screws in, it'll pull those screws forward to keep them from moving. I think maybe they were just uneven. So
Okay.
let's go ahead and
Close this up.
Third time's the charm.
Again.
all right. So despite our kerfuffle here,
It's a strong word.
yeah, it is. Might be in good shape here. Okay, we're on the interior screw. All right, so I'm gonna hold this in place. I'll let you go ahead and screw it on in. There you go.
Good.
Cool.
Oh, good.
All right,
Nice
so
and
we're
secure.
secure.
Nice and secure.
It looks nice too. Like, looks sharp, except for all these wires.
That's
So-
You'll get to
cable
that.
man.
We'll get to the, so a couple more things that need to go in this computer. First off, we need to replace all the fans. So we should probably do that before we move forward with anything else.
These
So,
bad boys.
What's Budger?
so let's go
Oh,
ahead and
that
pull-
spudged them.
Okay, so this is a little. We're gonna have another. Okay, we have
Spudge
another
once,
bracket to remove here.
I couldn't stop spudging.
Okay, need the screwdriver. Where's that big screwdriver?
Over there.
Sweet. So we have another bracket. This one's on the front this time.
But it's convenient that these parts are removable, so you don't have to.
Yeah, no, it's now that
Take
we figured
apart
that out, it's
outsides.
super convenient. Yeah. It took a minute. It's so different.
Hey, you want to pop the top off or
All right,
front
so-
off?
Look at that.
Woohoo!
There's a fan actually, or a fan cable stuck in here. Got it.
Where is the spudger?
This spudger.
It's right here.
On the spudge.
You can see it's really tight on the fan.
Is it too
Do I
tight?
have them in too tight?
No,
No.
no.
They're not stripped, so
I
too
always
tight is
assume that
stripped.
I'm.
Yeah.
I always assume that I'm just weak and that nothing is ever tight enough.
You're doing.
There's-
I think it's great.
Fan thing
All
going
right,
nowhere. That's a beautiful
Let's
bracket.
go ahead and let's see how that. Oh man, it's so easy.
That's nice.
Where are the thumb screws for that?
Ta-da!
Let's see if I can hold.
Yeah, usually you got to take out the front,
Done. That's awesome.
screw in the
dude.
fans, and then the top, screw in the fans
get that
as
one
well.
over there,
but
Kenny?
these brackets.
Thumb screws super easy too. You want me to do it?
Sorry. Cool. Those are in, and there's a lot of cables to manage on this, but we'll figure that out.
That all comes together.
Gus, I'm
going
gonna come around the other side, and we'll work on this last
Oh,
fan.
right. Then we need to borrow that screwdriver. Got to get this last fan on. I'll hold this.
Oops, sorry.
And I'll give you some pressure up here.
Thank you, sir.
So then, because of the pressure of the fan going down, it kind of applies pressure over the connectors on the back, so they get a little misaligned with the I/O shield. Is there like a low profile fan we could put on this?
Let's see if the basic fan works.
No, it's about the same. Here, start and screw in it, and I'll go grab it.
Man, this bridge is huge.
We could try doing a cross too, like if we get one here and then maybe the diagonal there. See, this seems like the easier part to
So
get.
maybe you can do it with just 3 screws.
Two or three. Yeah, two minimum,
Let's-
3 maybe.
Let's go ahead and try that.
Adam, in your having built hundreds of PCs,
Yeah.
do you have any tips on seating screws properly?
Man, it's kind of tricky. That's something that like when you see the screw, like you can easily screw it up, but you just kind of gotta be a little ginger with it and not be too. You can't be too brute forcey. If it doesn't feel like it's going in straight, it's not, and you're gonna strip it or damage the housing for
That's
it.
what happened when I was screwing in right there. I knew
Right,
that it was at a
right.
slight angle. It's like
So-
don't force that.
Don't force screws. I know sometimes you can run out of patience, but don't force them.
It's a good model to live by.
Okay, so we got our fans in.
Push your screws.
We have 2 pieces of hardware we need to put in, or I guess 3 because the controller. So we'll go ahead and put in.
So what do we have left? GPU, controller, and
MSI 1080.
And if you're just here to figure out how to put a new GPU in your computer, this is the part for you. So things to keep in mind when you are purchasing a GPU or looking to upgrade is you need to know what the power requirements are and what your PSU power supply is. So these new cards are actually like lower power than they used to be. I want to say this is like something like 600 watt requirement.
Yeah, and we it's
have a
good to have.
750.
So yeah, the minimum requirement on this is 500 watt or greater power.
Then that's so low because like 5 years ago, cards of the same caliber would be like, yeah, you need 650, 700 watt.
I remember there was a time where you could, if you really wanted performance, you'd buy like a 1,000 watt power supply. Like it was getting absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I got a thumbs up over here.
And this one's got a little extra room. It's a 750 watt.
Yeah. So this is a giant fucking card.
Oh, nice.
Oh
punch.
yeah, those 1080s are huge.
So
Look at that monster.
not only, when you're buying a new card, not only do you want to know if you have enough power, you need to make sure you have the right connector. However, nowadays, because these don't need like 2 8-pins, it's generally pretty simple. This is a 6 and an 8, even though that's a pretty
And
big
he's
board.
talking about the plugs right here.
Yeah, so when you're looking at your power supply to see what kind of spare power you have, and I believe if you're missing those, you can get a Molex adapter.
Yeah, sometimes they come with the card.
This one did not.
Okay.
Or maybe they'll come with the power supply. Right?
Yes, yeah, with the power supply, it will generally come with that. So it's very simple. We're gonna need to, oh, you don't need to pull those off. Those are for SLI.
Have to unscrew these
Yeah, I'm
brackets
just gonna
there.
see which ones we need to pull off. So it's some, you think it's that top one, but it's not. It's the
it's
second
the
and
second
third.
and third.
So go ahead and pull off the second and third ones. And it's really simple. You just slot it in. There'll be a little lock. I'm gonna make sure that locks down before you put it in. Otherwise, you'll break it.
And you don't want to do that.
I've done that.
That's bad.
I've definitely done that. That'll happen.
So there's that.
You want to get in a little bit here. You want to get a close up of that lock and point it out.
Yeah.
Adam, you want to
Yeah,
point
so-
it out?
This way.
When you're popping in your graphics card to the slot, you want to make sure that locks down, kind of like RAM. And when you push it in, that lock will close up. But you don't want to have it up when you're putting the graphics card in. And that's an easy thing to forget, but it will snap the lock, and then you'll have a lot less security of your card, and it will just be held on by this metal I/O panel.
And it's a big card. You see, you
And
obviously want to have more
it's a
security.
big card. It's a heavy card. It's
an
an
expensive
expensive
card,
card.
Yeah. And nowadays, the more secure, the better. Because they're so heavy, they actually start to sag when they're vertical. So it can be a bad thing. So this is down. So what you want to do is you want to kind of align the I/O panel, and you want to look and make sure that your PCI slot's all aligned. And it looks like it is something. I feel like I'm snagged on something here.
Yeah, it's probably just the frame. Sometimes you gotta put a little bit of pressure.
It looks like the thing that was blocking us was the port covers.
And these covers will just keep it looking nice.
Yep.
But these are the slots that other cards would go in if you needed them.
Put another graphics card if you want to run SLI or maybe
Or if you
a
want to do
capture
like an
card,
internal
sound
capture card. Yep.
All right, so someone is going to have to do the power supply part of this.
Why is that? Oh. Damn, I was afraid of that.
I knew what that was this time.
Okay, so graphics cards in. We have 2 pieces of hardware left. We need to get the PSU in. Then we got to put in the controller, and then we have to start running all of these cables to their proper places. So I guess we can probably pop that PSU in. You like the smell?
right?
What?
No, it smells a little. It smells great.
What is? Oh, it smells.
It's just.
You don't want to
No,
smell
you
it.
don't. It smells. At one point,
It smells like old fan.
no, you get like a hint of new electronic, but then you get a hint of dead cat.
There is no hint of dead cat. It
There's
smells
a hint.
There's a hint of dead cat in there.
Okay, well, I guess I don't know what a dead cat smells like, Gus.
You haven't lived. Uh-oh.
How this is going to be another thing. I think we're going to have to take this off. There's no way we can access these ports.
No, once you're in
yeah,
there.
so
Well, have fun. I gotta go to my meeting.
so we're going to have to pull out. I think there's probably a bracket
There's a
for the
thing
PSU.
here.
That's
No, there should be a back bracket for the
Oh,
PSU if it has a shroud.
before we secure it, we should probably get our pin.
Yeah, we gotta get
plugs
our
in.
pins going.
So
Oh, that's a tiny hole to fit that through.
I know.
We should flip this around probably then.
So there's a few cables you'll definitely need, and some that you don't. There's many more than you need here. You'll need, in our case, a cable for the CPU, a cable for the motherboard. So this is your 24 pin. This is going to this is motherboard power right here. This is your CPU power here. And these are all labeled like CPU. I don't think this one's actually labeled, but,
No, but
it's the only one that's 24
large.
pins.
It's
Yeah.
24 pin, it's huge.
And you're gonna need PCI for your graphics card. So this actually comes with a 6 or 8 and an 8. So this is exactly what we need. So CPU, motherboard power, and then we need one more, and that's for the hard drive.
There should be one that has a bunch of
Yeah, there it is.
connectors.
So I wish there was just like
And this
one.
is the hard drive.
Yeah.
Yes. Corsair, 480 gig, 2.5.
So this is your hard drive connector. This isn't a ribbon because generally you go like pop, 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 and you have like a bunch of hard drives you can just connect in. And this is the power for that. So I think 4 total power cables.
Yeah, that should do it.
Cool. So let's go ahead and pop these open and
Start plugging these guys in.
you know what we can probably do is we can probably run them through the port first and then like run them.
Oh yeah, we could do that.
And I think that some of these, like this hard drive one, we can just run back here. We don't need to run to the front at all.
All right, let me know if you need me to get my fiddly little hands anywhere.
Definitely, and we will.
Oh yes. Wow. So run. All right. This is
Send it
the.
through the sphincter.
Peripheral SATA, great. I think, is this the right end? Yeah, it is, you're right.
Yeah. Oh man, this is a lot of cables.
Is this, how much more room do you got?
I'm gonna need this much.
There, so we can maybe get a look into
Yeah,
the
totally.
sides.
Yeah, so far we have our motherboard connector, our peripheral, which is our hard drive. We're gonna run our CPU power in now.
That bad boy. It's gonna
for
be
CPU.
for our PCI.
Oh, that's not right. Oh, this is reverse, the CPU cable.
Oh, is it? And then the 2 clicks to the other side. The 24 goes straight in.
What? No, so, sorry. I just need the other end of the CPU cable.
That's this one?
Oh yeah. 24 pin was correct. Yeah.
Yeah, 24 pins is great. I just need the other end of the CPU cable. Is this the other end?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, and I think
And
we
then
just need the
this
PCI.
This should be the proper end for the PCI.
Great.
This for me it used to be the most confusing part.
Yeah, it's a
Then
little
there's also a lot of like ports and stuff like that you don't need to use.
Yeah.
Depending on your build. So I was just like, wait, there's
Totally.
extra slots, and what am I doing?
So how much room do you have on? Do you have any of those plugged in yet?
All of
Actually,
them are plugged in.
you know
I
what?
mean, we've got a
Should-
lot of room.
Should I just go ahead and start plugging
You know
in?
what I'm realizing? We can probably feed the CPU up through here, right? Is the CPU over here, or maybe right up here?
I'm looking for that one right
Can do
now.
this?
The CPU one is over up here.
Yeah, so we can probably feed it up through here in the back. I'm assuming, unless you want to do it through the.
No, I mean, ideally we'd feed it through there.
Okay.
That'd be
Okay,
the
so yeah, go ahead and
cleanest
feed
way.
me that CPU back.
Cool, we only have to run the.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
this case does have a cable channel in here, and we could actually pull it off.
Yeah, because we could bring all of these through, because then they
up
can
here?
come through. Yeah.
Here,
through this
yeah,
one,
let me get this
I
real
think.
quick.
I mean, although there's panels, we have to. Yeah, we got to take the
I
panels
said I
off.
didn't want to do cable management.
But that's what we're doing. We're doing it right.
Please.
Yeah, so that's the cable channel. So
That'll be
In
for-
fact, should we? Can you see my finger?
I can, yeah.
Should we pull the fans? Where does the fans
The
get plugged in?
fan.
probably over.
I'm sorry. If we haven't decided that yet. We're like running the controller. You mean?
Oh yeah, we gotta run the controller. Well, the cables are long enough that we can run the fan cable down the back end and then through the bottom end towards the controller for a cleaner look. And this is the cable management.
Yes. So this cable is a huge pain in the ass. So I want to get it through the right. Is this correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Perfect.
Go in here, and then should I just go ahead and plug it in?
Yeah, we have enough room. We're good with that. And then I'm gonna run GPU. This is a little tighter, but sticking it through the sphincter. And this is CPU. I'm gonna run this over. This is like a weird spot to run it, but I'm gonna.
So these are here's the 6.
Yeah, you have the 6 and then the 8. Well, it's a 6 and another 6,
Six,
and then you'll have
six,
the
and
little attachment for an 8.
So I got this.
Everything has a bracket, including the SSD. I'm gonna go ahead and just get the SSD going here.
Get in there. The 6-pin, 8-pin for the GPU is testy.
Oh, you'll have to do it together all at once.
Well, but the cables don't really want to bend.
Oh,
If I
yeah.
don't, so
It's the cables bending that's the issue.
there we go. There we go, and that pops in. Great. Yeah.
There you go. All right, CPU is plugged in.
I'm a little confused as to how to do this
Should I run
bracket.
these up and out?
Seems like that would be fine, but it seems like it could also be inside, but then there's no room for any cable to run. So it's gonna be outside. All right, that's fine.
So the fans we're gonna run down behind, right? Like,
Yeah, because then we
can
can pull
run-
them through the. Wait, is there a
We can run them out here. Like we can run them out the sphincter.
Let me check, because we might not have. Maybe we could run it through this one.
Yeah, so like basically like out up there and then down.
Yeah, then down
back
through
in.
the GPU, so they don't have to run over the motherboard. Wonderful.
Hello, Alfredo.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Is there another one I could? Yeah, there, take that one. Oh, did we run? Yeah, we can run through that. This one has nice
So,
little holes. For all the
Adam,
fans.
question for you as far as nice, tidy, clean cabling.
I'm bad at it.
But you know it. So should I just take these and add them in?
Yeah.
Or what are these? Do they go behind these?
Those are where we would put 3.5-inch hard drives, which we have none of.
Right.
So we could theoretically run them on all the cable channels. I would probably unzip tie them before we run them in with Velcro. Let's go ahead and get them figure out where we need to run them to, and then we can start tidying up a little bit. So generally before I do any zip tying, any Velcroing, I get things in place. I'm missing some small screws.
There's some screws here, long screws.
These little tiny
Here.
baby ones.
Oh, little baby screws.
Okay, can you grab these? This one on the top.
It was, I think Gus might have moved them.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay.
There you go.
I think I can live with 2.
Coming off the top.
Got it.
Nice.
So while we're cable managing here, I'm installing the hard drive. And to do that, you need a SATA cable.
Actually, the last two coming out.
You need the power connector. And so we're going to go ahead and run this SATA cable into the motherboard here.
Stable cable.
So I'm going to run that right through there. How's that? Is that a good placement? Higher? One higher?
Oh, wait, where are you running it? Where are you at? Oh, higher, one higher.
You got it. Yeah, we'll go ahead and see where we can reach all the fan cables, and if we can reach them here, that'd be so cool.
So far, all of them are gonna reach there fine. I'm just worried about these guys. I mean, these guys reaching there like in a nice, clean way.
Sure, yeah. And that's also an annoying compromise you sometimes have to make.
Yep, we just have to run them through like the front. You usually want to run everything through the back and then back into the front, but.
Oh, you
If
got
you
them all
can.
through the Velcro, nice. Looks good.
All right, here comes the first one off the top. Yeah, so this guy is not going to reach all the way around the back. So we're going to go ahead. The nice clean way to do it now is just to run it along the frame and then have it come across. Which isn't the cleanest, but that's the only option we really have right now. It's gonna just come across the shroud.
Yeah, as long as we're like strapping it down or Velcroing it down or something so it
Yeah.
doesn't clip the fan of the GPU, it's no problem.
And we can just tie that, right?
Yeah, yeah. You know, the rule is that you don't want to bend it too much, but I think that's totally fine. That's a pretty malleable cable. And I actually have a zip tie if you want to.
I would love a zip tie. Zip ties are so great for this.
You know, is it good enough? One thing, are we all connected power-wise except for the fans?
Yeah, the fans are not connected yet.
So we actually have we can potentially just power it up to make sure we get some power to the board, if you want to.
Here's a power cable.
Actually got one. All right.
Hey, we have power.
All right, so we don't have any fans on, and that's fine. That's because they're not plugged in. But we do have power to the board. There's no error codes flashing, which is great. Did you just turn it off?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
It's like, there's no error cards and it's off.
So yeah, that's good. I was a little worried for a second. I'm glad we made it over that hump. Let's continue and get this thing done.
Okay, let's get it done. So
right.
these
All right, so how-
fans.
I'm gonna leave you guys for the last leg of this.
Are you
Have
really?
fun, yeah.
All right.
Here. Okay, we need to get. Let's get the PSU mounted so it cannot move.
Okay.
So
That requires turning on its side.
no, just pushing it against this. Let me guide you a little bit. Push. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I'll hold
So
it here.
Now we need to find the screws for it. These might be it. Cool. So power
Alright,
supply
that
is
is
secure.
mounted.
It ain't gonna move.
Should we put this in?
Okay, so we need to, so all we have left right now is getting our fans, all we have left is getting our fans powered, because you have cable management done, we have power to everything else. So, yes, we're gonna get this mounted. Now we have to figure out, we're gonna run those fan cables back out to the front.
You can run, well, Alfredo was saying that you're planning on mounting it above the shroud. We could
Yes.
pull them back in.
We have a couple things to run for,
What?
We have a couple things to run for the CPU cooler I forgot about. That's fine. Connect the fan pump power cable to the CPU fan header on your motherboard. Connect the fans to the 2 connectors coming off the pump. Okay, so these are the connectors for the fans coming off the pump. We're not actually using this, so we can reroute this. Since those fans are going to be powered elsewhere, this doesn't matter. I wish we had a great place to put it, but we don't.
We can just fold it up and tuck it away, right?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do this. Run it around the RAM, and it's going out.
Got it.
Got it, cool. And hold on one sec. All right, it's, okay, that's as taut.
And it's just gonna stay back here?
Yeah, that's as taut as it should go. All right. Sorry about that.
Done.
Cool, and then. Oh fuck, where's the USB? Oh, there it is. Tiny fingers want to plug in USB?
Okay, where am I plugging it in?
It's the bottom of the CPU cooler. It's really hard to see.
I see it,
Yeah,
okay.
got it?
Done.
Got it? Okay, so
Now
we're
where
gonna
does
run
this go to?
that. There's gonna be a USB connector that we need to find the optimal one for. So let's see. So here, let me sneak in real quick. So there's some along the bottom. There's some along the side there. That's system fan, that's USB 3. Okay, so it's gonna have to run to the bottom of the motherboard, so probably our best route is around the graphics card. And one of those controllers, like I think this one is a USB right there. So you're gonna plug it into that one.
USB 1 or do you want, what, USB 1 or USB 2?
It doesn't really matter. You can do either one.
We'll do 2, well.
It might go in like upside, it might go in one way or the other, so there's
Yeah,
where there's a pin
it
missing.
does. Yeah, the missing pin is bottom right. There we go. And it's on.
Cool. All right, so that cooler is connected. So now,
I'm gonna annoy you. I wanna run it through the back.
run it through the back, dude.
Okay. Will you catch it?
Got it? Let me
And
know how
then
much
it's-
slack I have.
Okay, you can take that.
Okay, I'm gonna run
And
it.
then
Where
run
do you?
it
Through
in
there? Seeing your finger comes in so silly. Okay, so I think all we have left is to get our fan controller situated. So let's go get our fan. Oh, you know what? Sorry.
Fan controller's right here.
Let's do one. Let's do this. Let's get this annoying part out of the way. So this is this stuff is kind of ancillary, but it's all necessary. So these are all cables from the case. So you have USB 3, which is the most annoying connector that's ever been created, and that is going to run here. I need light. Oh, it's on. There you go. So I've found that this is the most easy connector to break. I don't know why, but it's not broken. It's on. So then you have, I believe these are SATA connectors. What's on the front? Oh, might be a USB-C connector. This is HD audio, so this will go to the one that says odd.
There's odd 1. They're each labeled.
Probably the one. Yep. And if you look, they're all going to have missing pins so that they fit in the right spot.
All right, here we go. Yeah, this was a top. It's missing on the top. And on it goes.
Cool. All right. You're gonna have to really use tiny hands here. There's a couple more things. So there's
this.
That, which is we just need to find the spot for. I think that is gonna be. Oh, where is that gonna be? Right there. No, that's SATA. Let's see if this board has that.
And each of these ports on the motherboard are labeled as well as to what they do. And there's a little label on the actual cable as to what it goes to, and then there's a label on the motherboard for where you're supposed to put it in.
I'm assuming that's a USB-C cable, but I don't know that our board supports it. Does it have a label on it at all?
This one actually does not. it looks like.
Does this board not support USB-C? Sorry, let me.
What about right here? No? No.
I've never actually connected a USB-C connector. Yeah, that is USB-C.
Okay.
So I don't think the board actually supports it. So, sorry.
That's fine. That's fine.
life.
So we're now working with these tiny ones.
Yep. So those tiny ones.
So we have power LED plus, power LED minus,
Yeah, let me show
and
you.
reset SW. So these are all tiny little things for the case.
So okay, so those are gonna run down here where I ran the power cable. So you can see in the tiniest writing ever, it says power. I can't even read it. It's so small. So power switch is where I'm already in. Power LED plus, power LED minus is to the left of it. And reset switch is below power. So if you look where I have the power, reset switch is below that. So if you have the reset switch.
Here's the reset switch.
Okay, and if you look on the, can you read that diagram right there? It's so
Oh
small.
boy. All right, let's get in here.
It's gonna have a plus. Do you see the plus?
Yeah, power LED plus is the what, top left one?
Yeah, you're looking for reset switch, which is below, it's like bottom right.
Reset switch, yeah, bottom right.
And does it have a plus indicator anywhere?
Yes, it does.
Is it, which side is it on?
The right.
Okay, so if you look at that reset switch, there's gonna be an arrow on one
Yes,
of those.
there's an
That's
arrow.
the positive. So you wanna align it so that the positive is to the right.
Okay. And where does it go?
Below the
Exactly.
below the power cable. We can actually pull out that power one if it's easier for you to reach.
So it goes to what side of the power one?
It goes below where the one I just pulled out was. So let's see. Reset switch is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's in these two right there. So not including the end. It's really hard to point out.
So there's.
It's those two.
Okay. Done. And then I put the power one back in. Mm-hmm. And the power one is which ones? Right
Power
above
one
it?
is, yeah. So it's, if you, right, 1, 2, right there. And I believe the power switch positive should be, can I see?
So,
Power switch, oh, it doesn't say. Power switch positive, I believe, is to the right as well.
okay, so power switch positive to the right. So it goes in immediately above it. Mm-hmm. Okay, done.
Okay.
And there's this is basically a map that shows you where each of these
This is
things
one of
gets
the
plugged
harder
in.
things to do with tiny hands, or with big hands. So,
So now we have power LED plus and power LED minus.
okay, so power LED is 2 and 4, so it's 2 and 4.
Okay.
So plus is on the left, 4 is on the right, and I think that's all we have. I don't think this case has a hard drive indicator fan,
So minus is on the right.
or hard drive indicator light. Minus is on the left.
Minus is on the left.
Sorry, plus is on the left, minus is on the right. You were right.
Minus is on the left. Okay, and they go on the very end on the top row.
Yes.
Okay.
And you can do one at a time if it makes it
So-
easier for you.
Sorry, you say minus on the left or the right?
Plus on left.
Plus on left. Okay. Okay, plus, here's the plus, and it's going in here. Done. And, okay, let's put them together. Okay, there we go.
Okay, those are in?
They are in.
Okay, so we're done except for fans now.
Great, let's do the fans.
Actually, let's get this spun around. So in this side, we had run this controller, but I think we need to pull this out and put it in the back. The reason being is because this will have 6 spots for fan power, and then there's another little box that's for fan RGB, so lighting.
Right. So this is a more complicated setup than a lot of PCs will get because these are light up fans. There's just the extra step.
Right.
If you're doing a closed case, there's a lot of this you don't need to worry about. But because this is light up and it has the glass side, we want this to be as clean as possible. So
The back will be ugly, but this side will be good.
yes, yeah. Well, this is the side that matters. This is the side that's colorful anyway.
Right.
So if we run, basically, instead of having hard drive bays on this side, we can store this stuff in the hard drive bays.
Exactly.
And that way we don't have any messy cables on this side.
Exactly. So why don't you, so the one thing, I think this is plugged into a USB port on there on the motherboard.
Yep, I got
I just
it.
need you to remember where that's plugged in because we're going to run it back around and then you just plug it back in.
Okay, I remember exactly where it's plugged in.
And I'm going to go ahead and pull, which one is it? Is this, am I pulling on that? Cool.
This one.
All right, so this will come loose one day, hopefully. Okay.
There we go.
So,
All right.
did you get
so
it?
I'm just going to pull this through,
Okay, cool.
and then we'll go back around.
Around and I'll hand you this part. Okay, USB
Got it.
cable on that side. All right. You know how much slack you need.
Okay, let me plug this in, and then we can pull back through what's not needed.
Sure. It is a mess back here. It's not pretty.
No, that'll take some cleaning up, but that's if you have a closed case, it's not such a concern. But because we want a pretty case,
Well,
all right.
This is closed, but the windows back here is very tinted. So when you close it, you're not getting too much. You're not getting too much visibility to our cable mess. The big thing is we got to make sure it's able to close.
Okay, and because we are trying to clean up this side, let's pull this through as well. This is for the USB-C. I think this is the USB-C cable.
Where is it?
That at the moment
Oh yeah, we don't have
on
a
this
spot
board.
for it. Yep.
So we'll just store that on that side as well. So now we've got a nice clean, inside for the lights and everything.
Right, and we're plugged in back here. So I'm gonna go ahead and start plugging fan power into this thing.
Okay.
And then we'll figure out how to route all this because it does look bad back here. But that's
Yeah.
not the end of the world. It's the spot that gets hidden. So
Well, and it's also like the cleanup part is always the last part once you stop.
you're ready to go. You're ready to play
Done.
games.
Yeah, well, I want to see the lights. I want to turn it all on.
Well, I mean, we can do that in like a second.
Yes. Okay. Because yes. So there's one thing about this. There's a couple pieces for the Corsair lighting setup. Is one, we have a Commander Pro, so that'll control up to 6 fans.
So this
And that
yeah.
does like 6 different fan speeds, and then there's 2 plugs for lights, but we have 6 lights. So we're actually running them through a hub that
Yeah,
so
So the lights that come on the fan are 4-pin RGB connectors, and they are, I think they're proprietary to Corsair, but they have a little hub that then plugs in through a 3-pin into the Controller Pro, which will then allow this controller to control fan speed and to control lighting, so you have all in one spot. It's two devices, but it's one device doing all the controlling.
right, this is basically sending the lights.
Right.
That's just the conduit, but this will be the Commander as it is named. So
We're actually plugged in. We're not cleaned up, but let me just power it. I'm gonna plug it in.
Wanna turn the bad boy on?
You can flip on the power.
yes, okay.
So if you want to, you can, that front top
All
button.
right, ready, ready, ready? All right.
Hold on, I think we're missing SATA power. All right, go ahead and,
Oh no, well, but we got fans on, just not lights.
yeah, so I think we're missing SATA power to our fan hub. Hold on. Yep, we are. Cool. Okay, so it's plugged in. Go ahead and spin it on. Ooh!
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
Look at that. So we got 3 fans on the top, 1 fan on the back, and 2 fans on the top.
Yep.
And then there's an app as well that will control all that.
So one thing to keep in mind that we're not doing, because we're probably going with either just sort of RGB flashing or whatever, there are on this controller the ability to do sequential lighting. So if you want it to go like, you have to connect all of the power in the correct order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, so we've just sort of got them plugged in.
We just got them
any
plugged in
order.
right now, yeah. But that's the only thing to keep in mind. Otherwise, this is all this is going to suit us fine because we're probably going to go solid color or pulsing colors. All the
And
fans,
all kind of the same.
all
same
the
thing
fans
together.
will be the same thing, so that should be a problem. But default, they light up rainbow and they look real nice.
I love it.
But the front of this case looks, I'd say, pretty damn good.
That's pretty clean.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like is the way GPU power is, but that's just life. Sometimes they put GPU power on the back here, and I think it looks a little better, but.
But also depends, in tight cases, there
Totally.
are.
Yeah, there's a reason, there's no room here.
Right. There are some cases where, if bays are on the front, then there's no room to work and it gets let's close this. I want to see what it looks like with it closed. This is what it'll look like.
Ooh, it's very like
it's like muted, but still really lovely.
You don't see the cables that frustrate me, but you do see all the nice stuff like the lights.
Yeah.
And you can still see the liquid cooler because that's kind of lit up. And there's some lighting coming down from the top case fans. The thing you're not noticing, and I'll tell you what, is the sound.
No.
The fans aren't on full
You
speed.
say that. It is real quiet.
The fans aren't on full
on.
speed. But this is just general operation. You don't hear it. I'm sure once we spin up like a game, the graphics card will spin up and the fans will spin up a little bit. But general operation-wise, this sounds amazing.
That's pretty impressive.
Because there's no
Also,
sound.
We got so many smudges. I want to clean the crap
Well,
out of
thankfully
this.
you'll be able to pull this part off soon.
Oh, that's right.
So, do you want to just cable manage this and then we'll call it done?
let's cable this up. Let's clean it up, but we've now gone from a pile of parts to a functioning, turning on machine.
It's a working computer.
That's the.
This will play
the good thing.
games soon.
Soon. We're gonna need operating systems, and we're gonna need drivers, and we're gonna need all that. But you know what? You're a PC, and you're pretty dope. Okay, cable management time.
Cable management. This is all you. All right. So actually, what
This is. Do you ever just when you're like, I want to clean?
I'm gonna go ahead and make an executive decision here. I'm gonna go ahead and mount this thing.
Okay, so we're gonna mount.
I'm gonna mount this up here.
We're gonna mount the color, the RGB hub up top, and we'll mount the controller down below. So what we're gonna be doing though is we're using the case in a creative way. Hold on, I'm gonna unplug this because normally this space that we're gonna use is allocated to hard drives. Right? These.
Yep.
So we're making the
This computer will not use physical spinning hard drives.
No.
It'll either use 2.5-inch SSDs or on the motherboard, there's a spot for an M2 SSD, which is real fast and real nice, and we should consider one of those at one point. But if we ever have to upgrade, we can use regular SSDs.
Yeah.
And they're like, cost to performance wise, these 2.5-inch SSDs are like pretty competitive with 3.5-inch ones.
Yeah, SSDs have come down a lot.
Yeah.
For like in price per gig.
Yeah.
All right, let's twist this around. A little bit.
I think this is good.
Oh, come on, lovely. Come on, lovely. It's
Here,
good?
This is what we wanted, right?
Cool. All right, so now time to clean.
All right, we've mounted. This is the RGB hub. We still need to mount this.
I got sticky things right here.
I'll let you do your magic on. Do you have all the sticky things you need?
I have sticky things.
I'll let you do your magic on getting those cables sort of neat and tidy. I'll get you some zip ties. Zip ties and clips.
Okay, so I'm gonna basically put these two. And
no problem.
It stayed. Okay, so now we're just tightening stuff up.
Yeah. So
now
we can take a lot of things that we don't like. We can just shove in this PSU hole.
Just put it in the PSU hole.
Because there's a big gap down there. Like this USB-C that we can't use is going in the PSU hole.
Yeah, this side isn't going to be. It's not going to be nearly as nice, as tidy, as pretty.
The main concern is that it's flush enough against the wall that the door can close.
Yeah, we need this
because right
to be able
now
to close.
it can't.
Right.
So.
I'm not a cable management pro by any means. I've seen some setups that are insane.
Oh yeah.
I just like, I just like it looking tidy.
You ever seen those cable management things where people will run cables along the wall, but they look like circuitry?
Yeah,
because they've ran
those
them
are
at like
cool.
tight angles. Those look really great.
But those are also, I see those and I'm like, I hope you never ever have to change anything about what you're doing.
Absolutely. Hope that HDMI cable doesn't go bad from those 90-degree kinks. This is my first time ever using RGB fans.
Mine too. Mine too. That's that's why I wasn't sure how complicated the extra step will be. So the consideration with that is just that the base fans don't usually come with this RGB
The hub you need, yeah.
Yeah. So they're usually like you can buy additional fans that don't need the hub, but you need to buy at least one fan that does have the hub.
You need this. You need like a 2 or 3 pack.
Yeah, and they do sell those.
Yeah.
So where they come with that and with like a little lighting node and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're like a cable manager at heart and you love doing like the cleanest, most beautiful cables in the world, I admire you. And this is not that. We're not pretending that it is. We're not going to pretend that this is
probably
a
gonna win
beautiful
some
job.
awards.
This is just, we're just making it fit. Okay. All right, now get like all those pieces off this. I wonder.
I don't want to tie it down because we're gonna get in there eventually. It's
Okay.
fine. It's fine free floating.
Okay. Okay. Tuck, tuck. Tuck, tuck, goose.
Closed.
And it closes. Okay.
All right, let's spin this bad boy around.
Oh, step in the way.
Just face it this way. Get some power. We're about to be done.
Oh yeah.
You know what you should do before you do anything is go ahead and peel this thing off right here. We're gonna get a peel going, guys.
All right. You want to peel the other corner?
No, you're doing the whole thing.
Oh, this is so satisfying.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that.
Oh, that was a religious experience.
All right, now, next step, power it on. Let's make it look good.
Ready? We
There
built a
it is.
PC.
Oh, it looks great, dude. Let's kick it open. That looks great. Here, let's spin it a little bit so you can see the front fans. There you go. That's perfect.
That's really lovely inside.
It is. That looks amazing. Good job, everyone.
All right, we built a PC, you guys. I'm gonna get all the other stuff out of the way because I feel like this doesn't want to share the stage.
I'm pushing buttons. All right, good job.
Adam, we built a PC.
Dude, it's
No hugs and high fives. Nailed it. Okay, so basically, look, hey, oi, hey.
I was just making a funny face.
So, point being, we built a PC from a big pile of parts, and it's not crazy hard. It's reading through some of the instructions. There's always some troubleshooting.
Always some road
There will
bumps.
always be something that doesn't go the way that you thought it was gonna go, but you got manuals, you got us. If you ever want to build a PC, we'll lend you them.
No, the lesson here is that build PC with friends because it's fun and it's easier that way.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That was fun doing it with friends. It was fun like assembling it and everything. I'm sad that Gus and Fredo couldn't be here for like the
I know, they
final
didn't
unveiling.
finish.
You know what though? It might be better that way because this way they won't try and take it.
That's right. That's right. Now it's just me and you that get to fight.
Only we know to fight over it. But this is really exciting. We'll be able to use this for a bunch of fun stuff. Huge shout out to Corsair and MSI for sending us a bunch of this equipment.
Looks beautiful.
This is a crazy, ambitious, huge, powerful PC, and we only needed to buy a couple of parts ourselves, so that's great. And it looks nice. It didn't take long. It wasn't difficult. If you ever have any questions, Adam's your guy. He's built hundreds of PCs, and it's a lot of fun. It's a cool project.
Hundreds
to
of
build your own
PCs still don't know how to manage cables. Go me.
You know how to manage. You just don't want to.
Yeah. Also, let us know what you want us to play in this thing because we need some benchmarks, some game benchmarks.
Stardew Valley.
Let's do Crysis. We can finally play Crysis.
I'm gonna run Crysis. All right, thank you guys for checking this out. If you kept with us all the way through to the end and the beautiful colors of this build, this was a lot of fun. We've been talking about doing this for months, and I'm really glad that we were able to do so. Adam, you do not take it.
I'm doing some gaming.
So yeah, hit us up. Let us know what you'd like to see on this because now we have to play something to justify this whole beast, right? So let us know what kind of high-end PC games you want to see, and we'll do what we can.
When you put the microphone up, it mutes and it beeps to tell you.
You nerd.
Just imagine it going beep boop, boop boop, every time you do that.
All right, get out there.
Thanks.
Go build a PC.